5. I'm a non-attorney spokesperson.
This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, great friends, what's happening? It's Kaplan and Crew, and we're just getting onto the airwaves of 1090, onto the stream of YouTube, onto all of our different audio podcast platforms. And tonight you'll catch up to us on TV between 7 and 8 p.m. But let's face it, as we're broadcasting here today from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, we're going to have some tough competition tonight. Padres are playing the Dodgers. So I'm going to understand if you're not watching our TV show on Channel 4 San Diego, but you can always catch the replay on YouTube. Guys, I'm telling you right now, we've spent this whole season waiting for these final 9 games of the year. And these last 3 games against the Dodgers, this is what you've been waiting for. If you are a Padres fan and you wanted to see this team get back into the postseason and you wanted meaningful, exciting, vibing, just incredible atmosphere kind of games, this is it tonight. Padres, Dodgers from Petco Park. I don't know off the top of my head what the exact record is between the Padres and Dodgers this year, but I know this. Thank you, Alex. 4-12. I knew this. The Dodgers have owned the Padres all season long, but here we are down to these last 3 regular season meetings. They happen to be in San Diego. You're driving down to the ballpark right now. I mean, you got to be jumping out of your skin with excitement. Here's Grande. Here's the Brown Man. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. Fellas, how are we feeling about this Padres-Dodgers final 3-game series of the season? Grande?
Not great. But it's all good. I mean, you got to go out there and you got to play whoever comes to Petco for the final 9 games. You got to go out there and you got to try and win 2 or 3. That's what matters. I think to continue the momentum would be a really good thing. But I mean, the Dodgers don't lose series, so to expect them to then lose one now they haven't done it all year. So, expectations aren't high. I just hope they continue to play good baseball, because they've gotten their ass kicked by the Dodgers at Petco pretty much 2 out of 3 games every single time. And that is what I hope that they avoid. So like I said last week, the results matter, but I hope that they don't lose 12-1, 10-2. That's what I'm looking for. And that might be a loser mentality, but I think I'm just a little realistic when it comes to the Dodgers. I just think go out there and play good baseball. Hopefully Blake can keep shoving the ball the way he's been doing it, because last time against the Dodgers, he wasn't very good. So to me, that's what I'm hoping for, really good baseball and at least 1 out of 3. But just don't get your ass kicked. Don't get embarrassed. Don't crush the momentum that you've built in the last 10 days or whatever.
See, and if I'm the Dodgers and I'm Dave Roberts, I'm preaching that exact same thing. Hey, guys, we've destroyed them all year long. They went out and made moves at the trade deadline for what? To battle with us. We've shown them all year they can't. Don't give the Padres any confidence in this 3-game series that makes them believe that they can actually play with us. So, like you said, the record is 4 wins for the Padres, 12 wins for the Dodgers. The pattern would be that the Padres win 1 of 3. But if the Padres could win 2 of 3, win the series, if the Padres could somehow miraculously sweep this series, you talk about this town going absolutely crazy, believing it would be incredible. Now, of course, the numbers don't really say that that's about to happen, but here comes Mr. Positivity himself, Mr. Baseball Genius himself. Big Brown, what do you say? What's going to happen here starting tonight?
Let me help y'all out, because you're talking miraculous. This guy is over here talking about saving face and being respectable. That's great. I'm going to tell y'all what's going to happen, okay? Because there's only one Mr. Baseball on this show. And unfortunately, we've come to this. I've had to educate y'all all year. But y'all, those 2 kids in class, that y'all want to have more fun than y'all want to learn. So y'all ain't been paying attention all year. Y'all been disrupting my class. And so now it's down to finals. And now y'all still ain't listening. I ain't going to fail y'all. I'm just going to teach y'all, okay? I'm going to give y'all a little 2 out of 3, okay? Just the one. 2 out of 3, Padres win 2 out of these 3 games. Last time we saw Blake Snell, he was in playoff mode. We've seen him be dominant against the Dodgers. We're about to see it again tonight. It ain't going to be 14 strikeouts, but he gonna do enough to get us to the bullpen to help us get this first win. It's gonna be 2 out of 3, like we've been doing all along this train. We just been chugging along, chugga, 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 winning series. That is, it ain't gonna nothing change here. We finna win this series 2 out of 3, and we're gonna win the next one 2 out of 3, because that's how
let's sweep the next one.
No. Stop it with the sweepings talk. Hey,
The White
listen,
Sox stink.
we don't need to sweep nobody. 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3. Job well done. Let's go postseason. Trust me, the professor has spoken. You welcome. Well, I'm more like the TA. I'm more like the TA. I haven't really earned my graduate yet, so I'm more like the TA.
If I'm Dave Roberts and I'm bringing the Dodgers,
who gives up ceremonial home runs to Albert Pujols, so he might be asleep at the wheel at this point.
Yeah, I don't
No, he
think
hates
giving
the
up
Padres.
ceremonial. Yeah, exactly. I don't think giving up ceremonial home runs to a player that was on their team a year ago that was 2 home runs shy of 700 and was playing against the Dodgers in Dodger Stadium. I don't think that's falling asleep at the wheel. I think that is very intentional. Give him something to hit. Give him something that he can knock out of this park. Do it on a Friday night. Oh, by the way, the Cardinals win. And then what happens? The Dodgers turn around the next 2 nights and they crush. If I'm Dave Roberts, and even though I'm from San Diego, and even though I played for the Padres, and even though I worked for the Padres organization at one time, Dave Roberts is now a Dodger. Just like Bruce Bochy is now a San Francisco Giant. Just like so many other guys that have left this organization and had success in other places, there's no like feeling of these are my former team. These are my guys. If you're Dave Roberts, you're coming into town to smash the Padres, to crush their soul, to say, and listen, I don't mean to get so like overly dramatic, but I mean, my point is that you don't want to give the Padres any life at all if you're Dave Roberts. You're not coming down here saying, well, we're going to protect this guy and we're not going to play that guy. You are trying to continue to send the message that has been sent all season long. You guys can't play with us.
Unlike
So
Albert Pujols,
asleep at the wheel, I will find that very hard to believe.
Unlike Albert Pujols, we don't want you to give us nothing. All
Yeah,
right?
I'll take it.
We take us. See, no. We take us. We take it. Because when we take, you can't deny. Because you was there when we took. Yeah, y'all might have had y'all way with us up to this point. But we here now. We playing better. We rolling. We here now. So when we take 2 out of 3, ain't gonna be no, oh, well, no, this was that. No, we didn't play our guys. Play your guys. Play hard. Be sharp. Because that's how I want to beat you. I don't want to beat you with no giveaways, okay? I don't want no giveaways. I'm taking. We taking tonight. We taking tomorrow. We taking 2 out of 3. Just know that. Know that.
Like in week 17 or now it's week 18, and there's a team battling in the NFL to get into the playoffs. Like they need that win, and the Chiefs have already wrapped it up, and they play Chase Daniel. Like I'll take that. I'll take that win. I don't really like in this time of the season. Like I don't really care how they come. I just want them to come. I just need wins. I need to get in. Don't care how. But the Dodgers aren't going to lay down. They need to get some momentum for themselves going in because they're going to have like a half a week off because they're not going to play in the first round like the Padres are going to play. And in baseball, that's a lot of time off. So the Dodgers are going to start putting their guys back in. They're going to start trying to figure out their rotation for the rest of the season because they're going to have like a week off in between the regular season ending and their first round. So the Dodgers, I'm not expecting them to lay down if they even have been laying down, to say the least, because they're still kicking teams' asses. So, I mean, they've lost 2 series in the second half of the season, and one of them was to the Mets.
3.
So,
about to make it 3.
Even if the Dodgers lay down, they're still probably better than most teams in baseball.
You guys buying Browner's what he's selling today? Anybody buying this, or are we just thinking Browner's just full of it?
No, I hope he's right. Would be nice. Be nice.
We is taking season. We taking this, okay? Liam Neeson.
It could be a
What is Liam Neeson taking?
Taken. I got a special set of skills. Okay, and if you don't let me find you, but guess what? They coming to us. All right, it's going
Because let's
down
say if
tonight.
Browner's not, let's play it out. Let's say if Browner's not correct. Worst
Okay.
case scenario.
False.
I know I'm playing it out because you're thinking that could happen. I hope so. What could happen as well is the Dodgers come in here and sweep the Padres. Next thing you know, you got all this pressure on you as you head towards the final 6 games of the season. If the Brewers go out and beat whoever they're playing, or if the Phillies go out and beat the Braves, so I think that it's important to keep the momentum going. Is all I was saying. Like they can't come in here and take your soul. Like, don't let them do that. Like, stand your ground, play your good game, because if they come in here and sweep you and you're losing 9-1, it's not really good for the final 6 games of the
Well,
season.
not only that, but I mean, then all of a sudden the entire fan base is like, well, and this is if the Padres make it in. Well, we made it in, but the last time we saw the Dodgers, they swept us at home, and they put up a bunch of runs, and we didn't. And you know what? It's great that we made it in, but we're not going anywhere. I would prefer that the fan base feel like not only did we get in, kind of what Browner's saying, don't back your way in, but actually go earn your way in. But not only do we get in, but we think we can actually do something
I got
because
to
the Phillies are playing at the Cubs, and the Brewers, who have the lowest percentage possibility of getting in, they're playing against St. Louis. So the Phillies, who are a game and a half back, they actually have the best chance to maybe catch up because they're playing against the worst of the teams.
they're on the road.
Whereas
for
the
final
Padres
leg.
are playing against the Dodgers and the Brewers are playing against St. Louis. So I mean, both of the Padres and the Brewers, they've got tough series ahead here.
Let me Justin Fields this for a second
What was that
and
supposed
tell
to mean?
you that I don't care how the fan base feels. I care about how the clubhouse feels. Like, if the fan base feels great, like Browner does, like, doesn't really matter. Like, just being honest here, like, it doesn't really matter how I feel, how Browner feels. I want the clubhouse to feel good going into the playoffs. That's what I care about.
What you want is to control your own destiny. And this team now controls their own destiny. The playoffs started for the San Diego Padres 2 weeks ago, and we have been locked in. There's no change in execution since Bob Melvin said, I don't know what the problem is, but I'm gonna figure it out. They've been great. They've been absolutely great. I don't plan on seeing no change in them tonight. I plan on seeing them attacking. I plan to see Soto hot. I plan to see Bell come up big. And in this series, because my dog got to do some catching up to do, Will Myers going to give me 2 home runs. He going to give me 2.
You still need 5, right? Or how many you need?
4. I need 4.
Yeah. Also, you know what I really want to see? I want to see Manny
Tell me.
Machado make an MVP push. I want to see Manny Machado really grab this thing by the neck and go for it, because he's back in the conversation. I don't think he's going to win it because whatever, but I really genuinely hope in these final 9 games that Machado goes on some run and he makes people talk about him, because he's been that valuable to this team. He's been that important to this team, and he's been that good this season that I hope he just doesn't go out with a sputter, that he goes out on top to really get back into that conversation, at least for the final week of the season.
Yeah, we'll talk about that here in 1 second. But Browner, you're actually right about one thing in particular, which
A lot
is
of things.
the playoffs. They start tonight. I mean, you said that the Padres have been in playoff mode already, and I think that the number is they've won like 9 of their last 11 games. Alex, you had been saying that early last week, like they need to go on some kind of a run. And when you look back, the Padres had that 5-game winning streak, which was the third 5-game winning streak, which is the longest of the season. Then they lost against St. Louis and Colorado, and then they came back and they won 2 games against Colorado. They had the day off yesterday, and now, I mean, the playoffs do start tonight. With the Dodgers in town, the playoffs essentially start tonight.
See, now if I'm Bob Melvin, I'm not preaching that at all,
No, what are you saying?
because I just think that you got to be like, hey, let's just keep doing our thing. Don't put that pressure like, oh, the playoffs start now. It's not the team.
Well,
to
I'm
say
not
that.
talking
No,
about
it's
in the
not
clubhouse.
team.
You're talking clubhouse. I'm talking fan base.
Yeah. See,
The,
like
the playoffs,
yeah.
the playoffs, though, like you're playing against the Dodgers, a team that has owned you all season long. And I'm just telling you that there's no chance that the Dodgers come to town and take the foot off the gas. And Dave Roberts like, hey, fellas, listen, doesn't matter what happens here in this series. I mean, we've wrapped up the division. We know where we're going to be. None of this matters. Let's take our time. Let's play other guys. Let's not pitch, starters deep into games. There's no way Dave Roberts does that. Dave Roberts, as a San Diego native and as a guy who was insulted by the Padre organization and who has gone on to have great success in the Dodger organization, there's no way he just comes to town and goes, guys, none of this matters. Doesn't matter if we win or lose. Who cares? Dave Roberts comes to town and says to his team, guys, we're here to win this series. Ideally, we sweep this series. We don't want these guys hanging around. We're a great team. They're an okay team. We don't want to give an okay team. This is, again, I'm Dave. I'm preaching this. We don't want to give an okay team any reason to believe that they can be on the field with us. I think the Dodgers are coming to town. This is my expectation. Looking to win this series, looking to sweep this series, looking to make one last statement to the Padres. We have crushed you all season. We'll crush you at home, and you guys are not going to do any damage of any kind in the postseason. So get ready. I mean, that's what I would be preaching if I were Dave
You're going to win 2 out of 3. You got to win the first 2 because you ain't going to win on Thursday. Because Manaea's pitching that day.
Listen. Take him out.
If they're going to win 2 out of 3, if the Padres are going to win 2 out of 3, they better win the first 2.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Him
out. Snell and Musgrove today and tomorrow because Thursday.
Take him out.
No, but the thing is, Browner, you need him to fill that spot because I know last week I was getting ahead of myself, but now you really got to start thinking about it. You can't have Darvish pitch the final game of the season against the Giants. So you need Manaea to fill in that 5th spot because you can't have Darvish miss the entire wild card series.
No,
you can't have him pitch Wednesday. You need him to fill these spots in to spread out that rotation for the playoffs.
I think it's time to go down into the farm system, get a kid who hasn't pitched up here yet that is a good prospect, and throw him.
I mean, you might as well go Manaea at that point.
At that point, what's the difference? At best, we get one of these Diamondback performances where nobody can hit the guy, and we win.
No. Come on now. We only do that. We're the only ones that do
honestly, that. I do not have any answer for what you're saying, meaning go down to the minors and just grab some kid. Who? I don't know who.
They do. They got to have a guy.
Come on.
You want to see Manaea go out there and give up 7 runs?
I understand what Alex is saying, though, that you have no choice. You have to start thinking a little bit more beyond just these 9 games. And if Darvish, if they took Manaea out and Darvish wasn't on his normal rest and couldn't get into this wild card series, which is going to be on the road for 3 games, can't do it, man. You got to have your best pitchers ready and in line. So, hey, listen, it's exciting though. Browner, first half of the season, not going to get excited, not going to get high, not going to get low. Even in the second half of the season, there was the excitement of the trade. There was the low of the Tatis PED suspension. And now we're kind of trending upward here, right at the exact right time of the year. But look, you've beaten St. Louis, good wins. Colorado, you had to do it, even though they'd owned you up there. Arizona, pretty solid. Seattle is split in a 2-game series. They're a good team. So you've played good baseball here over the last 11 games or so. But the difference is this organization you're about to see, the Dodgers, they're at a whole different level than everybody we've been seeing.
Give me Noel Vila or Jay Grom. Give me one of those. Give me one of those.
Look that up.
I just looked it up.
Yeah, because I've never heard either of those.
Manaea,
give me one of those.
In 3 games started against the Dodgers, Manaea has pitched 13 innings, given up 22 earned runs, 26 hits, 5 home runs. Dodgers are hitting .388 against him. He has a 14.49 ERA against the Dodgers.
And you mean to tell me I can't put one of them kids out there to give me something other than that?
Got to be honest with you, Browner. I don't understand how call-ups and things work right now. And
at this time of the season.
I got to be honest with you. I don't know.
Me too. That goes for me as well. So unless you can maybe explain it to us, Genius, I don't really know.
Are the Chihuahuas in the playoffs? Do they need them down there?
Hey, here's what I would do. Just pitch Will Myers, dude.
No, bro. See, now what you doing?
Come on, bro.
No, bro.
Come on, bro.
No,
Come on, bro.
Y'all lucky.
Let's go bullpen day. Let's go bullpen day as a throwback to the playoffs days, when we played them against the Dodgers. Let's go Stammen. Let's go Krismet. Let's go Martinez. Oh, let's bring up Martinez for a start, huh?
I'm looking down our roster. We got a couple guys we could throw out there that are our top prospects. I think we'll be all right. Other than Sean
I think
Manaea.
You are talking out of the place that Dolphins punter got hit.
Butt punt.
Yeah, I think that is where you are talking out of right now.
I know what's gonna happen to Sean Manaea. I don't want to see that. That's predictable. One of these rookies coming up here, not knowing which way is up, come up, throw some strikes, big fella. You never know what could happen.
All right, listen, we got a lot to get to this afternoon. I want to start off today by just giving a quick shout out to our man, Gary Cooper, Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty Services. As Gary has come on the show and told us, dude, you're not refinancing now. So let's just concentrate on the realty side of things. If you are looking to buy a house right now, here's the good news. The competition isn't there like it was a year ago. When 20 people were all putting in offers, all of a sudden the prices were going through the roof. That competition is gone. So a really good time to be buying. As Gary predicts, hey, if we are in or going into a recession, as the rates have gone up, they're likely going to eventually come back down. So you can buy now, and we'll talk about refinancing later, but never make a move in real estate without first consulting with Gary Cooper, Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty Services, but we're focusing on the realty side. 858-376-1299. 858-376-1299. Call Gary Cooper because you're gonna need him. All right, stick around. We got a great show. Eric Williams is going to be here to talk some NFL. Oh, man, exciting times. Padres, Dodgers tonight. Stick around. We're in the 7 Mile Casino studios, everybody.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Dominating the SoCal radio airwaves for over 20 years. Join Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner for Kaplan and Crew every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. Only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the mightier1090.com.
The 2022 San Diego Loyal season is almost complete. Live on Your View and YourView.com, watch your San Diego Loyal take on Orange County SC, Saturday, October 1st at 7 p.m. Support your playoff-bound San Diego Loyal as they prepare for the 2022 USL Championship. Orange County SC versus the San Diego Loyal, Saturday at 7 on Your View.
I thought I was okay. I had a degree, I had work experience. I should be able to provide for my kids. But they're just things that you don't plan on in life.
My husband got laid off and we are a family of 5.
My mom was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I would ask the doctors, what can I do? And they would just say, just make sure she's eating. Our lives just changed completely. Thank God that we always had a plate of food.
When your air conditioner needs to be tuned up, repaired, or replaced, call Bill Howe, the name you have trusted for over 40 years. We carry the most reliable, energy-efficient brands that will fit your budget. Whether you are looking for a traditional or ductless air conditioning system, you know who to call.
Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE, Bill Howe, because we know how.
We use our phones to order our food, catch a ride, share our stories, and so much more. SDCCU made banking from your mobile device easy too. You can do so much, get up-to-date account balances, check on pending deposits, transfer money, deposit checks, and more. Safely and securely all through the convenience of your smartphone. SDCCU. It's not big bank banking, it's better.
Change the way you look and feel with San Diego's most comprehensive varicose and spider vein treatment facility. San Diego Varicose Vein Treatment Center offers minimally invasive, pain-free procedures performed by board-certified cardiologist Dr. Tahizadeh. With over 17 years of experience, we specialize in the diagnosis of varicose veins, spider veins on the face, hands, and legs, ankle discoloration, leg swelling, and more. Improve your vein health today. Visit consultation.sdveintreatment.com or call 619-582-2404.
Welcome back. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
Great friends, what's happening? Today is Tuesday afternoon. It is September 27th. We started today's broadcast from the 7 Mile Casino Studios talking about the Padres and the Dodgers and a 3-game series that starts tonight at Petco Park. But let's go in a different direction here in the second segment of today's show. Eric Williams, NFL writer from FoxSports.com, is back on Kaplan and Crew. And, man, we got a lot to talk about today. So, Eric, welcome back, man. How's things going?
What's going on, Scott? How y'all doing? Things are going good, man. Just, getting ready for week 4.
Let's talk about week 3. The story we were talking about yesterday was the Chargers getting ham-slammed by the Jacksonville Jaguars, who maybe are better than most of us perceive just because they're the Jaguars. But as Tony Baselli told us last week, they hired a real coach. They've got an up-and-coming star quarterback, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
Were you surprised that Herbert started? Were you surprised that Herbert finished? Where do you come down on that story? We spent a lot of time on it yesterday.
Well, let's start with Jags first. Give them props. Like you said, they have an adult coaching them now, and Doug Peterson, who obviously won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. And it just goes to show you that coaching does matter. You have to have talent, but you have to have, guys leading that talent and putting them in good positions to be successful. So the Jags have certainly done that. And Lawrence looks like a different quarterback. So props to them. I did expect Herbert to play. I'm not surprised he played the entire game. I think what people aren't talking about is look who he replaced. Would Phillip Rivers that came out of that game? No, Phillip isn't coming out of that game because of the legacy he set as being a tough guy and a competitor. And so Herbert is following in those footsteps. And so he has to kind of show that same kind of toughness that the guy before him that led the franchise has shown for, over a decade that he played there, 16 years. So I wasn't surprised that he finished it out.
Really good point. You're right. We weren't talking about that. Never at one time yesterday did any of us say Phillip Rivers wouldn't have come out of that game. But on the other hand, Eric, Brandon Staley after the game was like, hey, that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to stay in there with his guys. I'm of the opinion that a coach at some point needs to protect a player from himself, especially a young player.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know what the benefit was of having him in there continuing to absorb hits when he didn't look right from the very beginning of that game. That's
a fair question, Scott. I guess I will say this. He's going to continue to absorb those hits throughout the season. So he's got to get comfortable with it. And the only way that he gets comfortable with it is by playing. And then he also has to show the rest of his teammates that, that are dealing with injuries as well, maybe playing with things that we don't know about, that he's tough enough to kind of stand in there and handle his business. You also want to get into a rhythm going in next week, even though you're getting smacked. You want to kind of start to figure out how you can get the offense going with the pieces that are out there, considering all the other injuries that you have at other positions. So there are benefits to it. I believe, in my opinion, you probably want to get him out there, but I understand, why they made the decision that they made and why Justin is choosing to kind of, keep himself out there.
All right, guys, this is the Gen Z talking here, and hand up, I'm not a tough guy. If I bang my knee on the table, I'm like out of commission for a week. That's my admission. But I'll tell you guys that we got to stop with this like tough guy. Like I got to show the guys that dude, he's got cracked ribs and he played an entire game. Like his team knows that he's tough. He couldn't even run last week against the Chiefs, and then he throws a dart for 25 yards to keep him in the game. I think his guys know who he is. It was a stupid decision. And it was I understand that players, someone has to play, right? You have to put 11 guys out there. But they lost their receiver at the end of the game he tore his ACL, this Guyton guy. Because and this is the kind of things that happen in the NFL. It could happen in the first quarter, happen in the fourth quarter. But when it's 38-10 and 2 minutes left, it's a stupid thing to do. And it would be stupid for Phillip Rivers to be in there too. And I would say the same thing. We understand that Herbert is tough. At that point of the game, it is a dumb decision because Justin Herbert is your franchise. It was dumb. I got to disagree with you guys completely. I just don't.
What
I will
saying,
never.
what you're saying?
Hold on a sec. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm saying I understand why he did what he did. if I was coaching the team, yeah, I would take him out.
Yeah. Today, last night, I don't know if you were there. I saw Staley said that I kind of regret it. Like, if I had to do it again, I'd take him out.
No,
Right.
he wouldn't.
I mean,
that's what he says. No, he wouldn't. Because you know what he did? He'd have a quarterback mad at him. So would you rather have people talking about the game mad at you, or would you rather have the quarterback mad at you? It ain't dumb. It was the right thing to do. So now we want to sit here and kill him and call the decision dumb when the player said, I ain't coming out. So now who you want mad at you?
I'd rather take the quarterback mad at me anytime.
So how much
you be
juice
fired.
How much juice does the quarterback have if he's telling the head coach, I ain't coming out? I mean, that kind of tells you everything you need to know right there. I mean,
like, if this organization
on the level of importance of that franchise.
Right. Well, we're talking about level of importance. If this organization was run properly, the person that should be mad right now is Tom Telesco. The person that should be pissed off right now is the upper management. Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, have the balls to do the right thing. Who cares if your quarterback is mad at you? Because guess what? Like, we're on to whoever they play, Houston. So if this organization was run properly, there would actually be a chain of command where Tom Telesco would be like, you don't ever do that again.
Okay.
Because you can't risk our franchise. Because now Telesco, we all know Telesco's under the hot seat anyways. Like, if they don't make the playoffs, he should be. He should be.
I doubt that.
Because he keeps hiring the wrong coach. I mean, we could all talk about his roster, but he keeps hiring the wrong coach.
Well, but just one thing about hiring the wrong coach. I mean, for everybody that thinks that Staley could be fired and that they would go out and hire Sean Payton, I just want to remind everybody, when Sean Payton gets his next job in the NFL, you know what he's going to be able to get paid? $9 million, $10 million, $11 million, whatever it is. Ain't no way Dean Spanos is paying a coach $12 million a year, $10 million a year. And by the way, buying out the contract of the other guy. I mean, you got to remember who we're talking about here.
Eric, and this will be the last thing we can spend on this particular portion of this question. Is Patrick Mahomes coming out of that game? Is Tom Brady coming out of that game? Is Aaron Rodgers coming out of that game? Josh Allen coming out of that game?
Josh Allen did come out of that game.
Up 30. Up is different than
came
down.
Out.
Up is different than down. If you are down in a game like that, you need to stay in the game to show the rest of the team I'm in the fight with y'all. If you up 30, then hey, we put the hands on them. We're going to let Chase go ahead and run this thing out.
How come Justin Herbert can play with cracked rib cartilage and Joey Bosa can't play with a groin, or the offensive tackle can't play with a bicep? I guess they're not as tough, huh?
Well, bicep is completely different.
Well, really?
If you get a hurt groin, that's about pain management.
Well, what do you think cartilage in your ribs are when you're getting pounded by 300-pound dudes?
And what happened? He crossed the line. He finished the game, and that's what matters. That's what matters. So in the hierarchy of that locker room, you know who the leader is? Justin Herbert, because he finished the game hurt. You know who ain't? Joey Bosa, because he keep getting hurt.
Eric Williams, would you like to comment on what you're experiencing right now?
I'm enjoying the conversation, just listening to you guys go back and forth. I will say this on the groin, when you're playing DM with a groin injury and you can't have the explosion that you normally have. I think it's a little tougher in terms of your mobility and affecting, what Joey does best. So I understand coming out in that situation, but I mean, injuries have been an issue with Joey since he's been with the franchise.
Well, not just Joey. I mean, Alex, put up on the screen for Eric, just to take a look at this. Eric, people will say at the beginning of the year, the Chargers have the best talent. They're a Super Bowl contender. And I just keep trying to explain to people who don't understand the history of the organization, for whatever reason, this team can never keep players healthy. So now Slater, the offensive tackle, Tony Baselli told us last Friday he thinks he's the best offensive left tackle in football. He's gone for the season with a bicep. Bosa's considered now week to week with a groin injury, to your point, not going to be nearly as explosive and probably going to be dealing with that injury 4 weeks, 6 weeks, maybe the rest of the season.
Yep.
They had wide receiver Guyton leave out with an ACL injury. They went out and they got this prize free agent, J.C. Jackson. He's had an ankle problem. Their center's out with a knee. Keenan Allen's out with a hamstring. And the tough guy quarterback, rather than sitting out this game and getting his body better, probably did even more damage. And he's never going to get better. This guy's going to be dealing with this injury, in all likelihood, the rest of this season.
So how long should he be out?
Well, if it were me, I would have sat him out this whole game.
And against the Texans too, because they bad, right? They bad. Jacksonville.
Well, I mean, they are. I mean,
it's the Texans, so that's 2 weeks.
well, I mean, the Texans are so bad that they actually stayed close to a really, really bad team, the Chicago Bears.
And the Denver Broncos, who y'all love so much. Don't forget about that. Don't forget about that.
All right. Well, let's keep. Well, Eric, you got any final thought on this, and then we'll move into some other stuff.
I think it's great to spin it forward. Like you said, they got Houston on the road, and then I think Denver in 3 weeks, and then who they play in between that?
Cleveland
at Cleveland. So those are 3 tough games. Houston's on any road game is going to be tough. So 1 and 2 right now. If they want to go where they want to go at the end of the year, they need to win 2 out of those 3 games, in my opinion, to keep up with the AFC West. And with all the injuries that you just mentioned, I'm surprised Alex didn't put up a Grim Reaper graph along with the injuries there. It's going to be an uphill climb for them to be able to win 2 out of 3 of these next games.
All right, Eric Williams is here. He covers the NFL for FoxSports.com. Let me ask you this quick question about the AFC West. Everybody going into the season said it's the best division in football. 3 weeks into the season, Josh McDaniels and the Raiders are 0-3. Nathaniel Hackett is 2-1 with the Broncos, but they don't look very good. The Chargers are all beat up, and there's a lot of controversy surrounding them. And the Kansas City Chiefs they're well coached, they're well quarterbacked, et cetera, et cetera. Is the AFC West still as good as everybody thought? And of the 3 coaches that I mentioned, other than Andy Reid, are all 3 guys going to be on the sidelines the entire year?
I think all 3 will be on the sidelines the entire year. I mean, Josh and Nathaniel just got hired this year. It would be hard to pull the plug after 1 season, although, franchises have done it. It's 3 weeks in, obviously, we're looking at the standings and really you look at the NFC East and the NFC North, which we thought were going to be weaker and they have better teams, just first 3 weeks. But let's see how it plays out. Hackett, they hired a game management guy that seemed to help. I don't know what the Raiders are going to do with McDaniel, to be honest. I mean, 0-3 and
closed our meeting already.
Yeah, we only closed our meeting with the owner. That's not good.
Mm-hmm.
Chargers, we talked about it. It's going to be a struggle the next couple weeks. And the Chiefs 2-1 losing against the Colts. They had no business losing that game. If you guys watched that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, obviously the AFC West is not as strong as we thought going into it so far through 3 weeks.
Quarterbacks from Ohio State and assistants from the Patriots. Those just things just don't work. Like when is the NFL going to realize it? Like it just doesn't work.
Head coaches from Ohio State too that get NFL jobs, man.
Yeah, and that's funny that you bring that up because I was going to say like Scott brought up like Sean Payne to the Chargers. It's like, wouldn't it just be so Spanos that he actually does like make a big splash and it would have been like an Urban Meyer? Like it would have just like flamed out in front of him because that's what happens. But when you look at the Raiders, since we're on the AFC West, 0-3. These 2 were super high on them. I didn't buy into it at all because Derek Carr, I don't think is very good. What is the biggest red flag when you see it? Is it Derek Carr or is it the defense? What is it? Is it Josh McDaniels?
I think it's the head coach. I mean, I think sometimes you hope that first experience that they get, they learn from it and they're able to come in and maybe, adjust to things that they didn't do well, in their previous stop. But at 0-3, you're just like, okay, this is the same movie we saw when he was with the Broncos. Like it's the same issues. There doesn't seem to be a connection between him as a head coach and the players on the field. And that's troubling as a person covering the league when you see that. They have to be connected and there has to be a belief in the person that's leading them. And you just don't see that from the Raiders right now.
Eric Williams is here from FoxSports.com. He covers the NFL. He's with us every Tuesday. We are in the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com, just 7 minutes south of downtown San Diego. The 4 of us were down there earlier in the summer when we had our supper club. It was awesome. Sammy's Restaurant and Bar on one side, blackjack, poker, table games on the other, smoke-free environment. Good luck to everybody when you go to 7 Mile Casino. And if you have any problems with gambling, you call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, Browner, pick it up from here.
I want to remind people, because I believe the Raiders will right the ship. It's week 3. As crazy as some things look, as bad as some things look, like the Bears have a 2-1 record. I've watched every snap of their season. They should be 0-3. But they're not. They're not. I've watched a lot of these Bronco games, by the way. they should be 0-3. They're not. And so as much as we want to try to say this team's great, like I've watched Miami play 2 of their 3 games. Okay, if you're buying stock in that, okay. How often do we see teams?
Let's have Eric comment on that. Eric, what do you think of Miami?
I think they're the real deal. I mean, look who they beat. You know, they beat the Ravens, they beat the Patriots, and they beat the Bills. We all think they're coached well, right? I mean, they came back to beat the Ravens, which was a ridiculous accomplishment in itself. So, you know, give the econ professor and Mike, you know, McDaniel some props. I mean, he looks like he should be a librarian, but obviously he has some coaching chops if he's going to go out there and go 3-0 like he's done. And obviously he can scheme things up on offense. And you knew the defense was going to be good with the Dolphins, but Tua is playing like, you know, we expected him to play when he came in the league. Now, I think Brown is right. You know, 3 weeks. Okay, let's, you know, I think coaches, you know, obviously kind of take it quarter by quarter. You know, so every 4 weeks they kind of, you know, look at their progress and see where they're at. And then obviously by week they'll do some self-scouting and take a look at what they can do better in all 3 phases. But through 3 weeks, you know, the Dolphins look legit.
I'd like to I agree with Browner, but I don't agree with Browner because I think I'm not going to bury the Chargers yet. I think when they're healthy, they should be able to turn it around. But I think you can see which teams are able to turn it around. You know, if you watch the Bucks, you're like, once they get healthy, they're going to look better. And I think the same thing with the Chargers. But the Texans, we know they're bad. Just because you win a game and you're the Bears, we know they're bad.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's what I mean by I think we know what teams are at this point already. We just, whether it be injuries, whether it be opponent, whether it be whatever, playing someone in a monsoon, you get results that way. But I think we know who is good, who can be good, who is terrible, and who might be bad. I think we already know that.
All right, well, wait a second. Let me ask Eric this then. Eric, what do you make of the Rams?
That's exactly where I was going.
Okay, because going on the road to beat Arizona, the week before, Arizona makes this great comeback against the Raiders, but we all think the Raiders are terrible now. So it was a great accomplishment to come back from 20 down. But again, based on who they're playing, and so the Rams go to Arizona and they win, but the Rams offensively don't look very good. What do you think?
I agree. And I think that's one of the reasons why the Rams are dangerous, because they're not playing their best football, but they're still figuring out ways to win games. You know, they let the Falcons come back, but they're able to close that game out. They go on the road, which again, it's still hard to win on the road. Against the Cardinals, they don't play their best, but they play good enough defensively. They don't let Kyler Murray beat them, which is basically what you have to do when you play the Cardinals. And they get out of there and they get a victory. They can be better offensively. They're still kind of trying to figure things out. You know, everybody, when they play them, obviously is focusing on Cooper Kupp and taking him away and making other people beat them. They started to run the football, which, you know, to me, I think is what they need to do. When they were successful a couple of years ago, Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson were able to run the ball to give them balance so they could do play action off of that. So if they can get Cam Akers going, I think they could be dangerous on offense.
What about Philadelphia? I was telling the guys yesterday, the storyline that I'm loving is that you had Jalen Hurts on that Alabama roster and you had Tua, and Tua replaces Jalen Hurts when he's already so accomplished, and he goes to Oklahoma afterwards. And by the way, he proves what a great teammate he is because he sat down quietly and, you know, just played his role. The fact that you have Philadelphia undefeated and Miami undefeated, and it's these two quarterbacks that are connected from their time at Alabama, what do you make of the Eagles?
I think the Eagles are good because they're strong up front on both sides of the football, and they have pretty good depth on both sides. You look at their offensive line, defensive line, and then, you know, Hurts is playing better. He's being efficient with the football. They gave more playmakers. That certainly helps. He can use his legs to extend plays and keep the chains moving. So he's a real quarterback that you have to deal with every week. And obviously he's a fearless leader. I think, you know, when you talk about quarterbacks and their ability to lead teams, I think he should be at the forefront of that conversation because, you know, players believe in him and want to play for him.
It's a week-to-week league. We always say that term in the NFL. Last week, we were all like, the Niners are better. And now this week, we're like, we forgot Jimmy G kind of sucks sometimes.
A
quick outlook for the Niners?
Yeah, we got about 30 seconds to go here, Eric. Take your time.
They'll figure it out. I mean, they left a lot of points off the table the first half. They should have been up by a lot more, which led to the result that they had in Denver, a game that they probably, should have won. I just think, we're seeing the fact that Jimmy G hasn't played a lot. He didn't go through OTAs or training camp. He's still recovering from the shoulder issue. And really the offense was structured for Trey Lance. So they had to remove 40% of what they were going to do with Trey Lance as their starter. So they have to go back to kind of what was successful last year, which is basically run the football, play action shots down the middle of the field, play fast. That's Jimmy's wheelhouse. If they get back to doing that, they'll have success.
A good point on the whole, being out for the offseason and no training camp, no preseason, and the offense tailored for a different type of quarterback. Hey, Eric, it's great to talk to you. Thank you for being with us. We'll talk to you next week. We love the conversation, and good luck to your son's high school football team this week. Who are they playing?
They have a bye this week, so they're going to be okay this week.
That's okay.
Get a win this week.
They're going to be okay this week. Eric Williams from FoxSports.com. We are in the 7 Mile Casino studios, 7milecasino.com. Can someone explain to me what happened on House of the Dragon this past week?
Yes.
Stick around. This is Kaplan and Crew.
Hunger is a year-round problem. The San Diego Food Bank and our North County Food Bank chapter provide food assistance at locations throughout the county. We need your help. Host a food drive, volunteer, or donate online. Thank you for making a difference.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
The Rich Eisen Show airs Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. An engaging blend of insightful football expertise with an offbeat mix of humor and pop culture while continuing to attract the most recognizable names in sports and entertainment. Only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
Your View honors Hispanic Heritage Month.
Please welcome 4 of the 5 San Diego County Teachers of the Year from the 2021-2022 school year. From Central Elementary School, Laura Reyes. From Westville High School, Tiffany Jokers. From San Jose Elementary School, Jacqueline Jordan. And from St. Joe Chavez Middle School, Todd Sanders. Teachers, please deliver the pitch. San Diego County Teachers of the Year with their honorary pitch.
The 2022 San Diego Loyal season is almost complete. Live on Your View and YourView.com, watch your San Diego Loyal take on Orange County SC, Saturday, October 1st at 7 p.m. Support your playoff-bound San Diego Loyal as they prepare for the 2022 USL Championship. Orange County SC versus the San Diego Loyal, Saturday at 7 on Your View.
Your View honors Hispanic Heritage Month.
Listen to the Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the Mightier1090.com.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout with Haley Stasiak.
Let's go ahead and take a look at your San Diego Padres baseball updates. Manny Machado reached 100 RBI for the second year in a row on his 31st homer of the season on Sunday in the Padres' 13-6 win against the Rockies. With the win, the Padres' magic number is 6 to clinch their spot in the National League wildcard game heading into this week. They have 1.5 game lead on Philly for that second spot and are 3 games up on Milwaukee. San Diego holds the head-to-head tiebreaker as well. Any combo of Padres wins and Brewers losses that would total 6 puts the Padres in the playoffs for the first time in a full year since 2006. The Padres host the Dodgers to start their final homestand of the regular season tonight with Blake Snell on the mound. They'll play 3 games against the Dodgers, then 2 more series against the White Sox and the Giants. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by YourView. You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and YourView, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Hunger is a year-round problem. The San Diego Food Bank and our North County Food Bank chapter provide food assistance at locations throughout the county. We need your help. Host a food drive, volunteer, or donate online. Thank you for making a difference.
San Diego Varicose Vein Treatment Center, we take care of all various needs of patients for management of their venous insufficiency. People who come here are mainly concerned about symptoms that brings them on or issues related to cosmetic concern that we can always take care of. Now with the advancement of technology and so many catheter-based treatments, we can treat our patients much more quickly, much more comfortably with less downtime. Patients love the result invariably.
It's been a huge impact in my life to feel better, to be able to power walk again. Overall, I'm just feeling like I used to feel when I was a lot younger, and I'm so grateful for this place.
It's a privilege to take care of our patients. It comes from the heart, and I love it.
Please welcome 4 of the 5 San Diego County Teachers of the Year from the 2021-2022 school year. From Central Elementary School, Laura Reyes. From Westville High School, Tiffany Jokers. From San Alfonso Elementary School, Jacqueline Jordan. And from St. Joe Chavez Middle School, Todd Sanders. Teachers, please deliver the pitch. San Diego County Teachers of the Year with their honorary pitch.
On October 2nd, 2022, Your View takes you to UC San Diego Park and Market for Cox presents Salute to Teachers, where 5 out of 40 teachers in San Diego County will be named Teachers of the Year. Featuring San Diego Magazine's Troy Johnson and outstanding musical performances from students around the county. Catch this year's show on October 2nd, 2022 at 9 p.m. Pacific, only on Your View.
When your air conditioner needs to be tuned up, repaired, or replaced, call Bill Howe, the name you have trusted for over 40 years. We carry the most reliable, energy-efficient brands that will fit your budget. Whether you are looking for a traditional or ductless air conditioning system, you know who to call.
Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE. Bill Howe. Because we know how.
My name is Alejandro Eugenio Guido Perez. I play for the San Diego Loyal, and I'm a midfielder. Midfielder kind of does a little bit of everything. Attacks, defends, it helps organizes the press to win the ball back, and then defend in the low block, and then attack and create opportunities for the forwards to score and yourself. I started at a young age playing soccer. I did it here in Chula Vista, but I also played in Tijuana, Mexico. It's definitely been restorative to be back home and be at a club, such a great club that values the person, not just the player. I've been able to grow tremendously on and off the field and be taken care of by the family that's around me and supporting me.
So Southwestern College, the name of the mariachi is Mariachi Garibaldi, is the performing group that we have. We've actually had as many as 4 different ensembles, so 4 different classes, beginning, intermediate, advanced. And the advanced group is outstanding. We got that associate's degree in music with the mariachi specialization approved in 2004. And that was the first in the world anywhere. It's not a degree in mariachi music, it's a degree in music with a specialization in mariachi.
The ensemble is great. I mean, it ranges anywhere from 30 to 50, sometimes 60 members every semester. It's fantastic.
Locally owned and operated, not some bland, uninspired, corporate, cookie-cutter radio station crap. We simply say to those stations, Q. The mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Hunger is a year-round problem. The San Diego Food Bank and our North County Food Bank chapter provide food assistance at locations throughout the county. We need your help. Host a food drive, volunteer, or donate online. Thank you for making a difference.
Home of Guiding Hands helps San Diego community in that we're a resource for families. A lot of times when families first identify that their child, their loved one, might have an intellectual or developmental disabilities, they don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. And we're here to help guide people through that process, to show them what a thriving life their loved one can have. It's a passion I share, having a daughter with a disability.
I really love the place that I live at. Because of Home of Guiding Hands, I was able to move out of my parents' house and into a beautiful home that I love living in. And so if you have an independent living service coordinator, they will help you learn more about being independent, and they help guide you through different things. They've helped me with lots of encouragement and love. They've also given me an ILS worker who is an amazing person, and I love her so much. She's great. I could tell you the first, I think, week or so, I wasn't feeling very confident in myself. The first couple of nights I was like, oh, this is scary. But I look back on it now and I'm like, this is so easy.
Main Street Living celebrates diverse abilities in partnership with Home of Guiding Hands, supporting the special needs community for over 55 years.
Catch Scott Kaplan and crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.